Good morning, everybody. All right, welcome to our last meeting of the month. So it's great to see everybody and everybody out there on Zoom land. Welcome, welcome. We got a lot of good stuff to talk about today, so let's just jump right into it. So everybody knows that I'm big on gratitude. So take a moment in your day-to-day to say thank you to somebody for something they've done, or show some gratitude, or do something for somebody. Do something nice that'll make you feel really, really good. I love karma, putting good stuff out there. You get good stuff back. So show some gratitude today to someone, or do something to make somebody's day a little bit better. They're back. And we couldn't be happier. I couldn't be happier. So I know, yeah, my good friends, Jim and Melissa Bittner, they are our assistant team leaders, and predominantly you'll see them out in the Brighton office as we continue to grow things out there, but they're also here today. So, and we are ecstatic. I mean, can you feel the momentum? Can you feel everything coming together? Everything is going great, and having them on the team just made it that much easier and that much better to be a part of KWP. So welcome back, you guys. We love you. And just so freaking exciting. We're excited about our new partners here, One Source Insurance. I want to bring up Deborah and let her introduce her team.
Good morning. My name is Deb Hoffman. I own One Source Insurance Agency here in Michigan. We also own agencies in Florida. We have 3 locations down there, one in Naples, one in Fort Myers, and one in Port Charlotte. So as far as the insurance industry is concerned, we are what's considered an independent multi-line insurance agency. So we specialize in personal lines, property and casualty. So like your homes, your autos, your boats, your jet skis, your snowmobiles, we do all of that. We also do small to mid-range commercial. So for you guys that have commercial investors, we are a really, really super good fit for that. And we're also a health and life benefits agency. We have specialists that work on the benefits side of things, which may be something you guys need some guidance or some help with. I know health insurance has been absolutely crazy expensive over the last couple of years. So, we're a resource that you guys can use for that too. Being an independent agency, so we work with multiple different carriers. So we're able to shop your risk in the market so we can align your needs with the carrier that fits them the best. And, most importantly, like for you guys here, we want to bring speed to market. So when you're working with a client, you need to know what the out-of-pocket expense is for your closings. Is this property going to fit right into their budget? We have Austin here in-house, live and in person every day. Austin, waiting. So excited to have him sitting right over there in the corner. We're going to get some signage soon. So just, drop off the home information, let him reach out to your clients. We'd be happy to provide them with a no obligation quote. In addition to that, all of you, if you haven't shopped your, home and auto lately, let us take a peek at that. If we can provide you with a better value to the insurance dollar that you're spending, we would very, very much welcome the opportunity to do so. So we are currently now, I think Darian calls us a preferred partner with Keller Williams, which we're very, very honored to be. So thank you guys very much for that. We appreciate it. We are here today with a few of our team members. So we have Amanda, who is one of our account managers. Amanda, if you can smile and wave. Lauren is a crowd favorite in our agency because she pays everybody their commission. So, everybody wants to be on Lauren's best side. Then we also have Dana. Dana's our operations manager. You're in-house agent in Austin, and we could not be more excited to have him as part of our team. So we kind of have a little joke with Austin. We love Austin. So his name is Austin Howell, but we affectionately call him Austin Powers.
There we go. Yeah.
He really likes that. We're not sure if you do or not, but.
And we don't care.
Yes, I think he likes it. So thank you guys so much in advance for your support, your partnership. And, you know, we're very looking forward to what we can do in the future together. So thank you.
Dawn Burdick with Titleocity. I'm the Director of Sales and Marketing. For any of you that I haven't met, which I feel like I have met pretty much everybody in the room, I lead our sales team, and you see me kind of bounce around all over the state. We do cover all 83 counties in the state of Michigan. Our newest offices are Grand Rapids and Traverse City. So I'm heading to Traverse City next week, which is not a horrible thing to be up in Traverse City in the summer. And oh, by the way, thank you guys. You guys have sponsored our golf outings throughout the years too. So you guys all, I saw that logo and I was like, yes, I know. So awesome that. So if you've got any transactions that are happening over, Northwest, we have your back because we have offices out there, but we will close anywhere. So I would say that probably one of the biggest, there's like top 3 things that our realtor partners love, and that is that we will close anywhere. So we say, if your sellers are packing up boxes, they've got, 2-day, occupancy or like a week or whatever it might be, we will come and like literally close them on their boxes as they're packing up. We'll bring the closer right to you. So keep that in mind, that we will close anywhere, no extra fee here in the state of Michigan. And then I brought a couple of things. A lot of you guys already know the extra services that we provide, but about 5-6 years ago or so, our leadership team was sitting around a table and we said, how can we save our realtor partners time and money? And one of the things was we brought what we call the transaction concierge or coordinator department. So we have a couple of members in that department. And so they act exactly like a transaction coordinator would. And Sue in the back, I'm not going to bring you up to put you on the spot, but Sue Dillon is in the back and she works closely with with Boyd's team. And so she is one of the TCs in our department. Then we also have a marketing department. So one of my sales girls, kind of like part-time, she works on marketing. And so I always ask, when was the last time you put out any kind of Google review on your social media? You guys do that regularly, just past client stuff. So I always try to take, when I see you, I always remind you, hey, remember you've got the marketing suite through Titleocity. It is complimentary, same with the transaction coordinating service. But if you send us a Google review, we will make a nice little graphic for you. And I always say, just throw that up on your story, put it up on your, post it anywhere, Instagram, wherever it might be. And then it's just nice, like little filler content. It gives you an excuse to reach out to your clients, past clients, current clients, whatever. Hey, do you know of anybody who might be looking right now? By the way, how am I doing? Can you send me a Google review? Here's my link. Send that to us, and then within 24 hours, we will send you a Google review. Put that up on your social media, and it's just a little extra stuff that we do. So a couple things that we do, those are some examples that we do a little bit extra for you. And that's really kind of all I wanted to do. We're more than just a title company. Like I said, we got together and said, how are we going to save our realtor partners time and money? And this is one of the ways that we do that. We're right down the hall. Come see us if you need anything. Appreciate you all. Thanks so much.
All right. The ALC update. There is a lot going around here at the Market Center for everybody. So hopefully everybody's feeling the momentum and seeing what's going on out there. I want to kind of give you a little update what the ALC has been up to. And so we'll take a few minutes on the tech side. Media rooms that we have been doing. Also, so that is complete. You can go in there if you want to do videos, whatever it may be. We also have the interview room that we're calling up in the front where you can sit and you want to interview maybe somebody from the community or kind of go back and forth with a Q&A, have somebody interview you. There's a lot of ways to use that media room and our interview room. So if you haven't been in Plymouth, come check it out. It looks really, really cool. And then the Park Cam. Who knows about the Park Cam? All right. So you got to go in and you got to check it out. It's on YouTube. It's Plymouth Park Cam. You got to like it and you got to subscribe to it. We need likes, and subscribe. That's important so that we can get that up higher in there. And we want it to become predominantly what people in Plymouth would look at. The weather's on there. We're going to be able to do a couple of additional things. We're hoping to turn that into a referral source for all of us here in the market center. So bigger picture, you know, looking at things. Is it cool? Yeah, very cool. But what do we want it to generate for us? Referrals. That's going to be even cooler. But we need you to get in there, bring it up, like it, subscribe to it, send it out on your Facebook, ask everybody else who, you know, is in Plymouth and your friends to like it and subscribe to it. We're coming up also with a chart for all the cities that they're working on that require certificate of occupancy. So that's going to be huge. That's a lot of work. That's a lot of investigation and everything else. And so we can't thank Tim and Paul enough for their contributions to the ALC that benefit all of us. So culture, one of the things, and this is Angie and Heather, have been working on this alongside with Rose. One of the things is that we're trying to work to turn our garage space into an event center where you might be able to host events and everything else, give it a home vibe. We've got some pictures that we've come up with. I should say that the committee has come up with on how it's going to look. And I got to say, it's pretty darn cool. So if you're thinking about as we get that together and what that's going to take, we're looking on the cost and all the things that we need in order to pull that off. And but that's coming up. So thank you to the culture committee. Growth is Brent and Rose. We do this together. And one of the things that we want to emphasize, this is probably the best kept secret, or I should say the worst kept secret. We don't want to keep secrets. We want to make sure everybody knows what's going on out there. Here's the deal. Would you like lower fees? Would everybody like lower fees, or do we like paying stuff? No, I mean, everybody would like lower fees. If you help us recruit a capper to KWP, and that's not hard with all the things that we do for I talk to many other people out there, and I talk to other brokers, and the amount of services that we're providing. And if you don't feel that way, you need to come talk to me so I can show you all the things you're missing out on, right? But the amount of services we provide are far superior than to a lot of other brokers out there. So if you have that conversation with your co-op agent, you're working with somebody as a buyer's agent, or you're the listing agent and you have a buyer's agent, and talk to them about how great things are here, the energy, all of the things that we're doing, and you help us recruit them on, and they're a capper, we are going to reduce your cap by 50%. 1 year. Yeah. Mike's like, not forever. Thank you, Mr. Investor. So yeah, not forever. But for that following year, you're going to have your cap reduced by half. That's pretty cool. So please, as you meet people out there that can benefit from our way of doing things here, our culture, our camaraderie, our people, our enthusiasm, our passion for what we do, we want to bring them on. And then we want to reward you for helping us with that. So think 50% off sale, right? Everybody likes a good sale, don't they? So that's what we're doing. So, hey, let's give a big hand to our AOC for all the hard work. And we're continuing to grow. We're continuing doing things that we've never done before in the past. And to me, that's the most exciting thing, to see the growth, to see all the things that are coming up. So
for those of you who do not know me, my name is Mike Patella. I'm the CEO of Nebo Lending. I am normally pretty unprepared for these meetings, believe it or not. Today I'm more unprepared because I got told about 10 minutes ago that I'm going to be up here. So I apologize in advance. The cool thing about mortgages, though, is that there's always something
right?
to talk about. So the topic that came to the top of my mind, just because I have a lot of conversations about this, we're going to talk about rates, because what's more exciting than that? I'm going to tell you guys a story about mortgage rates. Back in, it was either March or May of 2023, one of the M months. There is a standard in my industry who predicts mortgage rates and what they're going to do and all that fun stuff. This is when rates were in like the 4s, 5s, inching into the 6s. And this standard, said this is the day mortgage rates are going to go back down. They ended up going to the 8s. So My point, he's in my opinion our version of like the stock guy. I think his name is Jim Cramer. People make more money betting against him than they do with him. It's so normally when people ask me what rates are going to do, I look at what he says and I do the opposite. And no offense to him, he is a very smart guy. He's built a brilliant business. He is incredibly intelligent. The thing about mortgage rates, though, is that they are emotional, is the way I like to put it. So, let's say they announce the Fed rate's going to go down. This week might be a bad example, but let's say like 3 weeks ago, they announced the Fed rate's going to go down. Our rates will go down that day because the investors see it. We're tied closer to bonds and basis points and all that good stuff. So our rates will go down that day. The day they actually decrease the rates based on other things that are said at that meeting, our rates are going to go up because they're emotional. They react. They don't actually just flow the way they should be, like card notes or stuff like that. So when I approach a conversation with our clients, and I do this to protect against future burden, I never bring up the interest rate, or I try not to. When I get asked, it's a conversation like this, and no one knows what they're going to do. So I use a doomsday approach with our numbers because there are actually, I got bored a few months ago, and I did the math. There are about up to 19 different things that will influence an individual's mortgage rate. So it's not just like, oh, here's the rates. This is your rate. That's your rate. Here's your rate. It's your rate's going to be a little different because of this. Your rate's going to be a little different because of that. So we start every conversation is, what is your comfortable monthly payment? How much do you have available to you? What's the sales price you're considering based on the communities you're considering? And then I connect the dots from there. And then the way we set it up, if there's a surprise at closing, it's going to be a happy surprise because I don't like stress and most people don't either. There's a lot of numbers I'm responsible for, predicting, like insurance, property taxes. You see the headaches with property taxes, title work, rates. So that's a little insight as to how we approach each client and a fun little snippet about rates. No one knows what they're going to do. I was told last week that rates were going to go up this week. They've been going down every day so far. And I told them our version of Jim Cramer's story. We lean into the client's comfort level, what they're actually hoping to get done, why they're doing this, whether it's a refinance purchase or whatever. And that's the purpose of the loan. So go team.
So what are we telling everybody when it really comes to rates? And this is going to kind of lead into the market update here that we have, is don't wait. You shouldn't be waiting. I don't understand people waiting. Well, I'm going to try again next year. I'm going to see if the rates go down, and then I'll buy. And then you're going to rent for a whole year and not build any equity when you could always refinance if the rates go down. So those of you that are working with a lot of buyers right now, or you have people that you've worked with in the past who have kind of put it on hold, you need to let them know you're not building equity. You're not building wealth, and you need to start today because realistically, and I don't see it, and I don't like to predict either as Mike does, but I don't see rates going down. So let's take a little bit. I love talking about statistics. We always do on the last meeting of the month. We talk about the previous month because we have all the stats in, and want to go through some things. Let's go really, really big. And I don't like to spend a whole lot of time talking about the United States because we live here in Michigan and we're in Southeast Michigan, and that's where our market is predominantly. But for a fourth consecutive month, housing is up. Housing sales are up in the United States overall, 3.8% in the month of June. So it's not coming down. There is no recession. There isn't this huge supply inventory hitting the market. We're going to talk about that coming up. Everything is going up, including home values. So when we look at all this, there's some interesting stats here. The medium, now we're going to talk Michigan. The medium sales price in Michigan is roughly $290,000. Now we know here, Wayne, Oakland, Livingston, predominantly where we do all of our business, that's much higher, right? Our statistics that you'll see for Greater Wayne do not include Detroit. Detroit just skews the market really, really bad because we've got condos in Midtown for $1 million, and then we've got houses in the hood for $25,000, right? So trying to track all of that is just a waste of time. And most of us don't do a whole lot of work in the city of Detroit anyways. But when we look at this, the median sales price is up 5%. 5%. We're not going down. Prices are going up. If you continue to wait to buy, what's the one thing that you can be assured of right now? You're going to pay, yeah, you're going to pay more. It's going to be more expensive. Spoken like a bookkeeper and somebody in accounting. That's what we love about you, Mary. So it's going to be more expensive. So the best time to buy is right now. There is no housing bubble. I can't stress that enough. There's no housing bubble. There's not this thing that's going to happen tomorrow or next week, and all of a sudden there's 125,000 new homes for sale in Southeast Michigan, and the prices are going to drop like rocks. We have a consistent demand for the supply that's out there. So pending sales were down a little bit, just 3%. To me, when we're under 5 in any of these categories, just like when we look at unemployment, we say if unemployment's under 5%, there is no unemployment. When we see these small changes like this, they don't really mean anything to me. 3%, that's not some huge trend. It's nothing to get upset about. It's nothing to report. So, but we were just down for the month of June, year over year, 3%, pending home sales just under $100,000. Inventory is up a little bit. Now, a lot of that, and we're saying 24,000 units are for sale right now, just over 24,000 in the state of Michigan. Okay. So that's not a lot of homes when you consider the whole state, right? So, and again, that's up a little bit, but where did that really come from? If you remember from last month, we were talking about this huge increase in condos coming on the market. That's still continuing. So we're still seeing that trend. That's why that inventory is going up a little bit. Be careful by saying that, hey, this is going to change the whole market. We're going to get into that, don't worry. Month supply is staying right around 3. We're going to break that down a little bit. Days on market, 37. I got to talk about days on market. I've already talked to the MLSs. I've already talked to the Board of Realtors. There is a huge problem in our industry right now with people not putting their homes pending. Let's talk about what the rules say, our MLS rules. You take a contract, you have a signed contract, you mark the house pending. People are saying, well, wait a minute, I don't want to take my house off the market because they might do their home inspection and it might come back on. And then you're waiting 7 days to do the home inspection, another 5 days to get the results. That's adding another 12 to 14 days to days on market. It's skewing the number. When I see that this is growing days on market, it's growing due to a trend that we have where we're not putting. And so if you're looking at a community and you're saying 37 days on the market, I'm sorry, I don't believe that number. Other agents are complaining that they were allowed to do a showing, but there was already a contract in place on that property. That's in violation of Article 12, I believe, of the Code of Ethics, not giving a true and accurate depiction of the property. So you could be in trouble that way. Not to mention, if somebody turns in a complaint to the MLS, then you could be investigated that way also. Average list price, it's almost 100%. If you are pricing correctly, I can't emphasize that enough, you're probably going to get sales price, you're going to get asking price or higher. We're definitely still what they consider us to be in a seller's market. And let's break down a little bit about each thing here in each county. So let's look at Wayne County, which does not include Detroit. We're going to look at the counties and then we're going to wrap this all up here for you. So look at this, 1,400 new listings. This is down just a little bit, 1.7% year over year. So not really things going on there. Pending sales up for Wayne County. Median sales price up. Days on market up. I won't beat that up anymore. We know why. People are not putting their houses as pending. That number would come down, I bet you, by half if we all followed the rules accordingly. And I know some of you are doing it here in the office because I talked to you. So, but we got to follow the rules, all right? Condos, look at this. Here's again, another month of double digit, especially in Wayne County, 233 new condos are going Bluto. So if you're out there thinking, where can I find some listings? For whatever reasons, condos are the key right now. Big turnover that we're seeing right there. Pending home sales down again, just a little bit. Median sales price back up. And of course, days on market for condos, they're saying about 31 days. So again, same issue there. Let's go into Oakland County. Up 8% new listings. New listings are up 8%. Pending sales up almost 2%. Medium sales price up for almost to 4%, 425,000. The best market to be working in right now with the most activity is that 350 to 550 market. It's moving. So if you're getting anything in that price range, it's moving. Yes. Does the other lower stuff move? Yes, also. But that tends to be right now the hottest market is that 325, that 350 to 550 price range. Okay. And again, 25 days on market, they're saying that's going up a little bit. We'll talk about why we're seeing that in addition to the fact that we're just not putting them as pending. Condominiums, again, up in Oakland County. Pending sales up. Medium sales price pretty much hasn't changed, 0.2%. That's really nothing. And again, a 25% increase because there was so many condominiums that came on the market last month. It hasn't been able to get absorbed yet. So we're seeing days on market on that going up a little bit. So kind of understand these numbers where you're at and what's happening out there. Oh, Livingston County. So these are all great areas that we all work in. So we take a look at these. Livingston County, very interesting, tends to be one of our hottest counties out there right now. And things are, like I said, sold that 550 house in 3 days. But 288 new listings, this is down. This is an inventory problem. 230 pending sales, down. Again, it's an inventory problem. We have more demand than we have listings available in Livingston County. Look at the median sales price, almost up 5% year over year, now to $460,000. This is a great market to be working in, right? I mean, look at the commissions on that. Days on market down because we're seeing these sell rather quickly. All right. And it's also being reported that. Condo listings, it was huge last month. I think we were almost at 20% in Livingston County. So that subsided a little bit. But year over year, down 62 new listings for the month of June. 50 pending sales, so it stayed the same. That tends to be what the average is there. And then sales price came down. Why? Because of all of that inventory that hit the market, it made everybody adjust their price. So especially if you were in a condominium complex that already had 2 or 3 units for sale, and now a couple of more are coming on, what happens? Everybody reduces the price in order to get their condo sold. So that's what we're seeing there. Days on market, though, was down to 34 days with the condominiums. I suspect next month that's going to go up a little bit because still of all the inventory that hit last month in that segment. So very, very interesting. Here in the state of Michigan, new listings, condos up 5% overall. All right, so we bring it back to the entire state. Single family residence, pretty much unchanged, down 1% overall. Pending sales, down, not that much, nothing to worry about there. Median sales price increasing though, so we continue to see prices going up. They're not going to be coming down. Inventory increasing, obviously the condo market, we've talked about that. Single family, 5%, almost 5%, 4.2. And then month supply pretty much staying with the way it was at the pretty much 3% overall. So the worst market to be in right now, if you're selling anything with 1 bedroom, which would typically be a condo. And we saw a lot of that come on the market the last 2 months. So if you have anything that's 1 bedroom, a 1-bedroom condo is going to be the slowest possible property to sell. Hottest possible property is going to be over 350 with at least 3 bedrooms, and you're good to go. All right, so we're kind of looking at all of that so that you see that, okay? Now, it says here, rising months of supply means the market is drifting from a seller's market towards a more balanced market. Let's stop and talk about this. Outside of the Midwest, we are starting to see a lot more price reductions and seller concessions coming back into the market. Right, where somebody may pay $3,000, $4,000 towards buyer's closing costs in order to make the sale. So are we going to a more balanced market? Yes, but as the trends say here, it's a very slow rebalancing. So what is the key here? The key takeaway to all of this is to price for today, not 3 months ago. You have to price for today. You have to understand the national trends that are happening and what we're seeing, even though it's not quite here yet. We can have fishing expeditions where we're trying to put our house 30, 40, 50,000 over what the market should be just to see who might buy it. That was back a few months ago. That's not where we are today. But what we are seeing, if you price a home correctly, it's selling pretty much immediately because of the inventory situation. So are we at a balanced market? Absolutely not. All indicators are still seller's market. Is it starting to trend that way? Ever so slowly. All right. The key to a successful listing is pricing it for today. All right. So hopefully you heard all that out there. You're taking some notes. And if anybody would like any of these slides or anything, please just let us know. And these are the kind of conversations you're supposed to be having with your clients so that they understand the market. If you explained all of this to them, took them this stuff, they would be more willing to price correctly than going on a fishing expedition at a higher rate. This came out of our regional meeting the other day, those that attended the Cody Gibson event. I wanted to share this with you. I found this to be there's a lot of things. I mean, if you missed it, you missed a great thing. I know we've got some stuff out there, but it was definitely worth the time to be there and listen to Cody. But this was one of the big takeaways that I had. And he called it the rule of 7. Okay, he called it the rule of 7. And I want to share this is both professionalism and productivity. So I want to make sure you guys are with me on this. All right. And so when we talk about the rule of 7, it's to have a decision filter tree on these 7 topics that I'm going to give you right now to help guide your business to being more profitable. So these 7 things, just these 7 things, I mean, this is fascinating stuff. Number one, figure out your target market. If you're still trying to be a jack of all trades and a master of none, you're going to get eaten alive in this market. Everybody, even new people, need to start thinking about a niche. You need to think about what turns you on. There is something for everybody in real estate. Working with investors, working with first-time home buyers. There's what I do, work with the old people, right? I'm helping Mike Workman sell his house. Not that old. Anyways, but I want you to think about this. Commit to a single well-defined market. One that makes you excited and one that people will remember you by. When you say you do everything, nobody remembers anything. If there's one thing that people remember you by, they're never going to forget you. And you're going to see that coming up with these others. So what is the foundation of your business that will lead to other businesses? Because number two, there we go. What is the one core problem that you're trying to solve? So with me working with senior downsizing, obviously, I'm trying to make transition out of their long-term home or condo, whatever it is, into their next phase, which typically is into independent living or assisted living, maybe memory care. So like my problems is how do I help the family get that house cleaned out, right, and get it ready for market? I solve that problem. So what is the one core problem that you have within your niche that you're going to solve? And you tell that story so that people can remember what your niche is, okay? So understand that. What is the problem? Success comes from mastering the problem people have with that segment of the market that you want to work in. And you keep talking about how you solve that problem for people and how you make their lives easier. Number 3 is what's the one clear promise that you're going to make? Business lives in servicing people. Your business lives in servicing. We are in the service industry. Get excited about helping people and tell everybody how you help people. What is the promise that you're going to deliver to your customer that's going to make their life easier because they hired you over somebody else? What is that one promise? And again, if you want these slides, I'll get them to you because this is big time stuff in a tight market. Understanding how to get more business. Okay, what is your one brand message? What are you consistently saying? What is your story? And never change it. The more you change up your messaging, the more harder it is for people to remember you. We can make it so easy with just one branded message, mine being, I help seniors downsize. That's it. Now, I understand a lot of us are going to start thinking then, well, wait a minute, you're limiting yourself. You're limiting yourself just to that one segment. But no, because when you get known as being great in something, the other business comes naturally. And it will happen in real estate because it has happened for me. Do I just work with seniors? No. Is it my predominant business? Yes. But have I worked with investors? Absolutely. Have I worked with first-time home buyers? Absolutely. Right? Have I helped people get into condos? Absolutely. There's all different things there. It all will come back to you. All right. So what's your ideal customer? What does it look like? Mine is somebody in their 80s who recently lost a spouse and wants to downsize. Bam. People will remember that message. When I talk to people, I said, hey, who do you know that's out there that's in their 80s, lost a spouse, and probably needs to downsize? Like, wow, that's what you do? That's who I'm looking for. What does your ideal customer look like? And then let everybody know. And as this says here, secondary customers and clients are a byproduct of the people you're not targeting. Because if people see you as this great specialist in a certain area, then you're definitely even a better generalist. Takes time to wrap around that one, but it is true. All right, what's your primary growth level? So what am I talking about? How are you going to measure how you're succeeding in this? And typically it's going to be by your database growing because you've met more people and by the number of referrals you're getting. If your referrals are going up, but you're not converting, you have a different problem. But if your database is growing and your referrals are going up, then obviously your message is resonating with individuals. So this is a huge piece in this. And then of course, the last one here is measurement that matters. Decisions in your business are defined by real success. And this is not something you can do in a 3-week or 6-week process. This is something you have to give at least 6 months to. You can't say it didn't work. Brent, I tried all this, tried to come up with a niche, and I did it for, 5 days and I got nothing. We need to be thinking long-term on this. A minimum of 6 months. Getting a consistent message out there, letting it resonate with your database, reminding them, doing videos on this topic. All right? And then you're going to get real success. I guarantee you. So this is kind of our productivity section here. And I wanted to share that with you. If you'd like to go deeper into this, I'd love to have that conversation with you and help you grow your business. But you do need to start thinking about a target market, especially as we survive. I mean, it's getting tough out there, right? Inventory's low. It's harder to find listings. It's harder to help first-time home buyers get their offers accepted. We're still seeing multiple offers in some segments. All right. Love our partner, Scott LeRoy Marketing, out there with all the wonderful things. If you're not using them, you can go to scottleroymarketing.com, put in our Market Center number, 431, log in. They will do everything for you. There's all kinds of great marketing. The templates are incredible, so professional. If you want something custom, you can work with them. Every Wednesday, what do I say? New agents, newer agents, and even the rusty agents. So some of us that might need a little boost can jump on this too. We don't discriminate. Everybody's invited every Wednesday morning on Zoom, the new agent huddle, 9 to 10 o'clock. I bring a little bit more. I'm going to go a little deeper on this rule of 7 tomorrow. And then also it's a big Q&A on anything that's going on out there. You can bring any question that you want. And if we can't answer it on the spot, we'll follow up. We'll send it out to everybody. Save the date. New in-person live pre-license classes are starting in September. All right. So we're working with the state of Michigan right now to get everything in place so that we can do all of this. We hope to have, we'll definitely have a class out in Brighton. We hope to have some classes going here also in Plymouth. We're looking probably to do Tuesday and Thursday nights from 6 to 9:30 because probably these individuals have another job during the day. It's going to be easier for them to come. It's a 5-week class, Tuesdays and Thursday nights. We're going to be starting in September. There's more coming on this. But here's the deal. If you're taking a class online, 95% fail rate. That's the industry average. If you're taking a class live, 95% success rate. It totally flips the other way. All right. Every third Thursday here live in Plymouth is the licensing prep class. So if you've taken a class or if you've done K-Score, you've done something online, but you want to ask some more questions, maybe you failed your first time, then we have the test prep class. So you can come in, ask questions, kind of get a flavor for the exam. We've got you covered. That's every third Thursday live here in Plymouth. Career night, every third Wednesday on Zoom. So we make it easy for anybody thinking about a career in real estate. And again, this is all on our calendar. So the monthly calendar that you get, you'll see them here. You can share this. You can share the Zoom link with everybody. We're going to make sure it gets out there. Check your daily emails because it'll have everything on there for you. But we do career night. We want to get people excited into real estate. Also, this is a great way to help with your profit share. The more people you can bring in, the more profit share you're going to participate in. So this is a win-win for everybody. Dual career night, every fourth Wednesday. So if you have no people or you're somebody out there that's watching this at a later date and you're dual career, we have basically what we're calling an open mic night. We have some content to help you be a dual career agent, where to find business as a dual career agent, and then also share your struggles. And we're going to talk about them with a little Q&A. Nothing is off the chart here. We'll talk about anything. And yes, can you be a successful dual career agent? You bet you can. Look at this guy. Look at this guy, right? Doing our forms class every first and third Monday at 11 o'clock live here in Plymouth. Different topics, buyer forms, seller forms, agency forms, purchase agreements, you name it. If you haven't taken a class in a while, might be time to get caught up and take one. I always tell everybody, I don't care if you've been in the business as long as I have, or you've been in the business 5 years, things change, forms change, language changes. Don't be afraid to take a forms class. And that's the first and third Monday at 11 o'clock, always live here in Plymouth. All right, so what's the best part of today's meeting? It's going to be lunch by our wonderful partners, One Source Insurance. So everybody's going to take advantage of that, meet the team, have a little bit of camaraderie. And thank you to everybody. Let's go out there. Like I said, if you'd like any of this information, please let us know. We'll get it to you. But let's get out there and make some money. All right, everybody. Thank you.